incredibly complex. But when on a hot August afternoon in Ohio, the people started turning the air conditioner, more power went through the lines sagged, and the utility company had stopped their tree trimming because it saved them money. And that branch touches and the entire East Coast goes out. That's kind of scary stuff.
You did this several years ago.
Several years ago that happened.
Yeah.
They were worried about it last week. I was up in Washington, I was in northeast Philadelphia, and all the concern there. Because at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, all those air conditioners go on. It's not that we don't have the power generation capability, it's the ability to move it around. You know, Edison was right. If we had distributed power generation close in, and we didn't have to run the stuff over long distances, but that's not where we are. So one of the big challenges for the future is that grid, and how do we get after it? Listen, I'll probably take up more than my time, but I'm willing to stay and answer questions.
Dan, one comment on the $400 in Afghanistan. Some reports that I've seen indicate that we may be helping the terrorists more directly than even you pointed out, in that a lot of those convoys to transport the fuel and water, they essentially buy into a protection racket. The subcontractors pay the Taliban or whoever not to attack them, so it increases the cost of the fuel very directly.
This is true. Afghanistan is an interesting situation because it's a NATO command. It's not a U.S. command. Even though my classmate, Stan McChrystal, I did talk to him about this well before he was talking to Rolling Stones. Who would have thought? That you have to understand the culture too. In that culture, which is solidly set in the 14th century. I've been there just recently. In September of last year and August of this year, I did energy surveys in Afghanistan for the Marine Corps and for the Air Force. And the concept of bakshi, for those of you who've been there, that's just, you grease the palm. It's how it's done. Now you're right. Where does that money then go? The way we move logistics there is that contractors move it from Pakistan to the forward bases, to the large, like Leatherneck in Kandahar, which is a large Marine base. Yeah. And then the Marines move it forward from there. So we just say, yeah, you just get it here however you can. And they use local protection, security. These guys are really lightly armed. I mean, the max they can carry is an AK-47. And they be coming up against some bad guys. But mostly they're locals who know who the bad guys are in the locality. And so you do what you can. Now, it's going to be one way or the other. Right now, we have a vulnerability because we're hauling out fuel. And it's not the fully burdened cost of fuel in dollars that concerns me. It's the fully burdened cost of fuel in blood.
It's in blood.
And that's what's getting the attention. Let's do it. Thank you very much for your time.